Hi guys, it's Thomas Moran here, and today's video is going to be about the Grand National 2025, 5th of April at 4 o'clock Saturday. There's going to be 34 runners running around 4 miles 2 furlongs. If you haven't watched my other video guys, please check it out, it'll be in the cards. I've picked 2 selections already, but in this video I'm going to pick another 2 selections, and they are exactly the same price and they're very similar type horses. If you like these videos guys, please like, subscribe, hit that bell notification. So since my last video I tipped up 2. Unfortunately one has been backed off the boards. It was 40 to 1 when I was doing the video in the morning, and when I actually released the video it's 20 to 1. It's now 12 to 1. Would I tip it up at 12 to 1? Probably not. And then the other one's actually still at the same price, and I will mention the last 2 later on in the video. I still can't believe it's that price, so I'll briefly explain why I like that one. But the next 2, and the first one is a horse called Manila Kakuna for the Willie Mullins yard again, and I was surprised to see it at this price, potentially very well handicapped. This season it seems like Willie's very good at this, where he just has a horse at a certain standard and then he just tries to niggle away at a handicap mark and then not get pushed up too high in the weights for the National. It's clearly a very, very big race for him. Looking back, it ran a really good race at Sandown, beating Annual Invictus off 151, and then jumped £7 this season, and then he's just run it over 19 furlongs. I mean, that's mad. It was never going to win that race. That was at 66 to 1, the SP. Next race is 66 to 1 SP over 3 miles, but again probably needed further. Got beat 41 lengths, so it's going to be niggled down in the handicap. Dropped £2 for that one. It was 100 to 1 for the next race at Leopardstown. Got a little bit closer to Gallopan, but nowhere near. Out the back, didn't try from memory. And then dropped another £2, and it actually ran all right over 25.5 furlongs on soft last time out, got a bit of weight from the second, the favourite, the Grand National, but it's been dropped to 154. We're running 154 in the National, and at 25 to 1 I think it is best price. Where are we? Yeah, 25 to 1. If you can get non-runner no bet on that, I think that's a really decent bet at that price. You only have to look back at the Irish Grand National. It was beaten only 4 lengths off 148 to Intense Raffles. Then that was over Heavy, and I'm not sure Heavy would be its chosen ground. Then next time out Sandown, like I said earlier, over 28.5. So distance is not a problem. Willie Mullins at 25 to 1. I'm definitely adding this one to my selections. And the last one today that is my new selections, and ignore the 20 to 1 up here. It's 25 to 1, and it's another Willie Mullins horse. You can't go wrong with Willie Mullins, and it's Grange Clare West. And this is a seriously top class horse. It won 6 of its first 8 races, as you can see here. Won the first 3, then didn't do very well in its next 2 hurdles, won another hurdle, and then won its next 2 chase starts, beating Hartwood, very classy horse, and then absolutely walloping Corbett's Cross at Leopardstown over 3 miles. Again, you'll see exactly what happened with Manila Kakuna. Exactly the same style. It ran over way too short a distance. Why you're running it over 19.5, I think we know why, because we want to protect that handicap mark of 159. Then ran over Leopardstown twice, taking on Gallopan. Got beat 23 lengths the first time. Then got very close by 4 3/4 lengths at 66 to 1. So I'm not sure if that was sort of an unhappy accident or what happened there. So has been risen £4 in the handicap for that. But this is a very lightly raced 9-year-old. For me, again, at 25 to 1, you're getting a seriously classy horse. This is what I love in all sports, if I'm honest, guys. If it's golf, I was a Tiger Woods mad. I was always backing him. If it was Phil Taylor in the darts, I'd always be backing him. And horse racing is no different. I love my big massive prices. I actually backed a horse yesterday, 200 to 1, which came 5th, Annie's Mission I think it was called, in a very low grade contest, and I was trying to get it 4th, just missed out. But with something like this, Willie Mullins, he knows what he's doing. He's the top trainer, absolutely destroyed them at Cheltenham, and in here, you know, he ran a really good race. Leopardstown nearly got beat Gallopan de Champs, 170 odd rated horse, and then beating Factor File, beating I Know the Way You're Thinking, who when was entered for this race after winning the Gold Cup was entered in around 4 to 1 favourite. So we've beaten that horse, you know, by I think it was 2.5 lengths, yeah, 2.5 lengths and a short head. So on that form alone, you know, 25 to 1 seems like a very, very big price. I feel the trip could be huge. I feel the step up in trip, we don't know, you know, we've been campaigning over 3 miles and that's going well. But if you watch some of the races, it feels like it needs more. It needs a longer distance. And I think jumps well, so I think jumps well, you know, round here there's a couple of question marks, but 25 to 1 I think it's an absolutely cracking bet. Like I say, the step up in trip will really help. The other two, if you haven't watched my other video, guys, I tipped up Hewick, and unfortunately when I went to do it, it was when I went to release the video, it had been jumped into 20 to 1, so that was really frustrating. So I had to redo it because the sound went, so I had to redo it at 20 to 1. That's fine. I didn't know if 20 to 1 was, I thought it was a really good price, but I wasn't sure if it was going to get backed in so much, and yet now it's 12 to 1. The price here is across the board. I heard Shark saying that he thinks it might be going off favourite. I don't know. I'm still very hot on its chances. I think it's got a great chance off 161. I think the handicap mark's great. It's top quality, like my other 2 horses that I've tipped up in this race so far. I'm not going to go too far into it because if you watch my other video, you can do that. But I think it's a good jumper. I will love the distance. Anywhere around good to soft ground, I think we've got an absolute cracking chance. Would I back it at 12? It's probably about my limit 12s each way because I'm a big each way player. I don't know, but it's still another horse that you could be doing. And this is still my nap, and I am shocked that so Hewick went from 40s into 12s, and I'm still no idea why. You can still get 25 to 1. It says 20 to 1, but I'm sure I saw, unless something's happened, I'm sure. Yeah, meeting with the waters. You get non-runner no bet with Bet365. And you're getting 5 places each way, and it's 25 to 1. I am genuinely shocked it's that price. It's my favourite of the 4 that I've tipped up so far. I think the way, like I discussed in my other video, the way it jumped last year at the National, it ran the National last year, we're only £1 higher. We've run 3 races just to get it tuned up. I thought last season it runs so many races in really tough races, and then it comes to the National and still runs really well. The last race before that, it ran a heavy, very tough race, ran really well, only beaten 5 3/4 lengths off 147, and I could not believe that we're £1 higher if it ran so well in the National last time out, jumped really well. I think with a nice gap, but it's only had 1 little hurdle run, 2 chase runs. I'm shocked. I mean, you know, we don't know what's going to happen, and there's obviously a lot of luck involved in these kind of things, but I think 25 to 1 each way is a lovely little bet. Of the rest, I did look at a few, you know, I've checked out Intense Raffles. I think it's got a good chance. I think it probably should be favourite. As you can see here, it's probably about 15 to 2. I think on Betfair, I think you can get nearly 9 to 1. It should be the favourite. It's run really well. It could be chucked in off 151. Mainly the price is the problem for me. You know, I think the handicap mark is clearly very good, and the horse is obviously top quality. But backing those kind of prices in a Grand National for me is not a easy way of making money. I think, you know, trying to even get a place at top 5 or on the day a few more places with a horse that maybe might not win but has a very good chance of play, you're probably going to get more of a price on the each way part, some of these bigger prices, than you will on a win on Intense Raffles. And there's some question marks there. You know, it's not run that far. I thought it ran well. It had to give Nick Rocket £3. There's going to be a massive swing in the weights this time round. So I'm not sure about that. So I wouldn't be backing it at that price. I mean, come the day, I will do another video, and if I change my mind or whatever, I will let you know. But currently, I can't be having that favourite. I can't be having Maximus. I mean, all the stats go against it, unfortunately, running off 169. You look back at last year's 4. I know a couple of them have now retired. One's died. There's not been a lot of form for that. But off 169, the stats basically say it's very, very tough to win off that higher mark. It's not run that well this year. Around 8 to 1, I think it is. Yeah, 9 to 1 now. It's drifted a little bit. Not for me. I couldn't be having it. And another one I looked at a price. It's about 120 to 1 on Betfair Exchange, and I just thought it's a top class horse. I still can't work out if there's a chance for it or not. That's Venetia Williams Long Presse. I was going to back it for the Gold Cup, very small, around 66 to 1, 80 to 1 this year, but it didn't run there, so it's had a big gap between races. it pulled up last time, but this is a top quality horse again. I'm sucked it into all these top quality 170 rated chasers. Their form, you know, it beat Protector out here. You know, even 2 starts ago, it beat Stage Star 3/4 of a length. This is top quality. It's going to be running off 163. I don't know. I think it's only about 50 to 1. Or if on the day, if the weather goes against some of our other horses, I might be tempted at a bigger price than 40 to 1. If it was bigger, I might be tempted to have a small each way on that, but I'll have a look and go from there. Hope you're good, guys. If you like these videos, please like, subscribe, hit that bell notification. But more importantly, I want to know who you are backing. I love on the other video, everyone's been chucking their thoughts and saying why they fancy certain horses. It actually really helps me, as well as us having a chat in the chat box, seeing what jockey might ride with who and who they fancy and at what prices. And I might have missed one. You know, you can't look at all of 67 or whatever it is. Yeah, 67 that are... You can't look them all intensely. There might be one near the bottom that I've missed and could be, you know, a quid each way, a big price, who knows. But I hope you're good, guys, and most importantly, take care.